Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and the voice of the Wilmot Raceway and other area racing from time to time, and we're looking forward to a great show tonight. We are live on Monday nights now. We're going to go monthly starting tonight, then we'll be on the first Monday of, we're in November, December, January, February, and March, and then we'll go to weekly come April. So Monday nights, tell your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, even your enemies to join us for the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report airing on Monday nights. It'll replay on Wednesday nights, 6 to 7 o'clock again. And it's also always available in the archives. You can go back and look at any show, all 31 episodes if you want. And again, we want to thank our fine supporters, our marketing partners that have helped us get on the air this year. Hartnell Chevrolet, and stay tuned. We're going to have a big announcement regarding Hartnell Chevrolet, and that will be coming up in the December show. All John Hatterline, attorney at law, Force One Performance Parts, B&L Office Furniture. Scott Carpenter does a great job providing us with our home studio here. American Tire and Truck Repair of Lindenhurst and Kenosha. Great Lakes Dragaway. They're still going. They're still trying to go anyway on weekends and also during the week if Mother Nature cooperates. So we'll be talking to John a little bit later on in the program about their schedule. Also, Steve Sinclair and the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars. Their banquet is coming up on Saturday, November the 23rd at the Brat Stop. And you can go to the IRA website for more ticket information for their banquet. Wilmot Raceway also going to be announcing their schedule, probably coming up a little bit right around the first of the year. And Wilmot Raceway's banquet is on Saturday, January the 4th, also at the Brat Stop. Also, the 1175 IRA Lightning Sprints, their banquet is coming up the first Saturday in December at 1175 Sports Bar and Complex there in Kansasville. So looking forward to being at that event, all three of those events, actually. Our good friends from Fox Lake Harbor, Dave Mullis and his fine staff, the Hunt Club of Richmond, Midwest Motor Coach, and Olson Transportation. They do a great job helping to get the Lake County Honor Flight to and from Mitchell Airport 3 times a year, and we thank them for that. MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd, Mark and Tony Maglio of Bodycraft, Waukegan Harbor Marina, and Greentown Tavern on the Rocks. We will be going back there with the Let's Go Racing Motorsports and Custom Car Show presented by Larry Brobuck. It will be coming up next year in the spring in May. We'll give you the exact date, hopefully on our December show, but be watching and listening for that. It'll be on probably a Sunday afternoon in May. Also want to thank Impressions Count, Randy and his fine staff, Chad and the folks at We Be Waxin', Buddies of McHenry, Culvers of Paddock Lake, A-Main Apparel and Diecast. Garrett and the Tennyson family do a great job helping us out. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse, 5-Star Race Car Bodies, Daniel Sanchez, Carl and Corey Schultz. They can put you to work in the racing world. If you'd like to do that, contact them at 5-Star Race Car Bodies. Nielsen Enterprises, Ted Nielsen and his fine staff over in Lake Villa. They can put you to work if you like 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 4 wheels, marine. They've got marine products also. Check out Nielsen Enterprises. Lake County Hose and Equipment, Bill Fusting and his fine staff. RC Electronics that help keep me in contact with folks when I'm at different racing events. Cabins on the Lake. Yeah, it's a great place to go no matter what time of year. They're right up there in Adams County, right on Highway 13, just north of Adams and Friendship in Friendship, Wisconsin. So check out Cabins on the Lake. We do want to toss this out now. He was actually going to try to come on with us tonight, but he's taking care of some family things. Jeff Wessel's mom, Karen, is having some health issues, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Karen Wessel and to the entire Wessel family. And everybody just, when you're saying your prayers tonight, say an extra special prayer for Karen Wessel. And also my good friend, Rudy Bazowski, his wife, Sharon, having some health issues. So keep Rudy and Sharon and the Bazowski family in your thoughts and prayers as well. All right. Well, we're now going to bring a good friend of mine in out of the green room. Dean Strom, longtime friend of mine and a co-announcer of mine for I don't know how many years, a long time. I think we both had dark hair and more hair, Dean, when when we were announcing back at Hales Corners, and all kinds of different places we've announced together, I think, over the years. Welcome to the program, and I want to start off by showing you something. To see if you have one of these, because we were told that by the man, the president of Homestead Miami Speedway, that he only has these and personally gives these to people. And I got one of these when I met him a week ago Sunday.
I do not have one of those.
Well, when you're at Homestead again, you'll have to ask him where your pin is. I mean, it was really cool. They made the announcement when he was being interviewed at the NASCAR Experience. And I'll tell you, I was very impressed by the man. He did not sidestep any question. He very enthusiastic, very, spent time with the fans, myself and other fans that went over and met him one-on-one. Pose for pictures type of thing. And I mean, very, very down to earth. And I've always been impressed when I've gone to Homestead. I've been to Homestead, I've been to Daytona, I've been to Michigan, and of course, Milwaukee and Road America. And I do have to say Homestead's my favorite track.
From a pure racing product, on-track racing product, it's hard to argue with that, right? I mean, it's just, it's phenomenal. It puts on some incredible racing. That finish a week ago down at Homestead for the Cup race, unbelievable. I mean, I watched, I'm a fan of Tyler Reddick. I get to be a fan as well, in addition to working there, but I'm a fan of Tyler Reddick because he came up in the dirt late model ranks, and I'm a fan of dirt late models. So, but to see him come from third, he took the white flag in third, and to see him win that race on tires that were a couple laps older than Ryan Blaney's and Denny Hamlin's was just amazing. It was just such a cool finish. So yeah, it's hard to argue with your case there for Homestead being an amazing track, because it's really pretty cool. And track president Guillermo, boy, that's the first time that weekend was the first time that I met him as well, and really was impressed with him and his team and what they got going on there. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's hard to beat South Florida in October, end of October, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm going to see what it's like in March, because I already got my tickets.
Good.
I renewed them Sunday morning when we were there, and
nice.
So we're going. And only thing that this time we're going to have a couple more days, because we actually flew in Saturday morning, and then we went to the hotel. We hung out at the hotel, found a couple nice places to eat, and watched the truck race and stuff that was going on. From the sports bar we were at near our hotel in Kendall, and got a ride over to the track Sunday morning bright and early, got there actually at 10 minutes to 10. I mean, the gates weren't even open yet. And got in there right after they opened up, and just, I mean, everybody is so nice down there. And I'm not saying that people at other tracks aren't, but Kathy and I are sitting there, and I said to Kathy, I said, there's some short track promoters and short track people that need to come down here and take a lesson from these people on how you treat your guest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really a cool venue. I like it. I like the size of the track, the facility. It's kind of out a ways. But it is what it is, it's 15 minutes. What is it? Maybe 15 minutes from the city of Homestead where I stayed at. Uh-huh. And so it's out a little ways, but I don't know. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's we'll see how it is in March. And there's some speculation as to why the March race for 2025.
Well, he did say when he was asked, are you going to get the final back here to Homestead?
Yep.
And his reply was not diplomatic. His reply was very candid, and he said, I would not be doing my job if I didn't work to get the race back here to Homestead.
So if the race in 2025 is in March and the championship race in 2026 is in November, that gives them a big window to get some things done on the facility that infrastructure-wise may need to be done or whatever. So that's the speculation that's why the March race for 2025. So March for Northerners going to South Florida in March wouldn't be bad either.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I was kind of fortunate over the years. I was at the first race they had at Homestead for the championship. And I actually met Ray and Joan Toft there. And, and we just had a great time. But we actually drove through Homestead, which was still, a lot of parts of Homestead were still boarded up. They were still, suffering, from the hurricane. And again, when we got to the track, everybody that you met, whether it was people that were parking you or Ray and Joan camped there, the people on the campgrounds, the ushers, everybody, they didn't just point out where your seat was. Before they pointed out where your seat was, they thanked you for coming. And then I was actually still writing for the newspaper at the time, and I wrote a column when I got back and just said, these people just opened their arms to everybody and were so appreciative, because if it weren't for that racetrack, I don't know if Homestead would still even be there today.
Yeah. From what I understand, that entire area was just wiped out in a hurricane. And I don't remember which hurricane it was, but that whole area was just devastated. And then that's why they built the track there, because it was basically empty land. There's not much out there now by the track. If you go, I forget which direction it is, but there's either the track or some palm tree farms, like some nurseries for palm trees. So yeah, it's incredible. And the city of Homestead, where we stayed anyway, it's coming back. But again, that hurricane that went through there was probably
about 20 years ago or so.
Yeah, 20 or 25 years ago. Yeah,
a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this last week, I understand you were, my condolences to you that you were watching the Packers play, or let's put it this way: you were, who beat?
They were playing.
They were there.
They were playing. They had 11 guys on the field, and they were playing. Yeah, so I went to I got invited by some friends to go to a Packer game, and I'm a Packer fan. But they made it so easy to watch it from your recliner that I haven't gone to a game in a long time. it's probably been over 20 years since I've been to a game. So we get invited to go to the game, and my brother was going to be in town and sister-in-law. So I thought, this will be perfect. What a great, this will be a great experience, Go up there with my brother. And so my first game in about 20 years, and it rained all day. And no matter how many, it rained all day. I had my raincoat on, my rain pants on, everything, all the precautions. You still get wet. It was just miserable. And then to watch that train wreck happen. So yeah, it wasn't a good day. So I missed the race yesterday from Martinsville. And I was coming home and I wasn't driving. So I was looking at Facebook, and Facebook was blowing up. People were texting me, and I thought, well, I gotta read up and see what happened here. So that's how I got my info from yesterday.
Well, and it was kind of neat in some respects. And Kathy and I were even talking about that. I mean, she became a Tyler Reddick fan when we were at Homestead. She just took a liking to him.
Yeah.
And she was devastated when he had to pit, when he was running out of fuel toward the end, or, she was just like, oh my God, he's not going to win, But on the reverse side, when Kyle Larson had his flat early in the race,
yep,
I told her, I said, watch him. And I said, if he gets a caution later and gets to gain that track position, I said, he's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, personally, I think he would have won if he stuck with his NASCAR driving instead of trying a sprint car move going into turn 3. Because to me, that kind of looked like your old-fashioned slide job, and it didn't quite work out.
It wasn't quite clear. Yeah. Well, but it was phenomenal. But it's interesting though that Tyler Reddick, had he not won at Homestead, he was going to have to win at Martinsville. Well, obviously, he dropped out early yesterday, and it was a non-factor, so he wouldn't have made the playoffs. Wouldn't have made the championship 4. So it's kind of interesting how things turned there. And then Ryan Blaney at Homestead, I can't believe. As it was happening, I said, I can't believe he gave Tyler Reddick the outside lane. It was like he just moved down and said, okay, go ahead. So I can't believe, and he was just so distraught, was Ryan Blaney, after that at Homestead. So to see him win yesterday at Martinsville was kind of redemption for him, and he's got a chance to go back to back now. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, what a boy, oh boy. I guess it wouldn't be the playoffs if we didn't have some drama, right?
Yeah. Well, then you had Chase Elliott ended up second yesterday. Kyle Larson ended up third, but that wasn't good enough to make the top 4.
Yep.
William Byron ends up 6th and makes the top 4 after probably one of the longest. I don't want to ever hear fans complain about video reviews in football ever again, because the time from the end of the race till they finally announced what they were going to do.
Right.
I mean, you could have had a steak and lobster dinner.
Well, yeah.
But I do get that they had. And that's what the announcers that I was watching on NBC said anyway. They were not only looking at what happened with Christopher Bell, they were looking at what was said on radios, what was done in other areas. And I mean, they looked at a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the Christopher Bell thing could have been decided in about 2 minutes, but they were looking at everything else to see if anything else should come into play, and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, it's going to be interesting this weekend. Logano, Blaney, Reddick, and Byron, going to go for it. and what was kind of fun though, when we were at Homestead, I kept saying to Kathy, I said, well, because we ended up with great seats. We were right across from Ty Gibbs' pit, from Elliott's pit. I mean, Bubba Wallace's was like just to our left. Larson's, Larson's is right at the start finish. I mean,
right.
So he was just to our right a little bit. So, I mean, all the big guns were like pitting right in front of us pretty much, except for Reddick. He was down down at the other end. And when he came in, we kind of had to keep watching the Jumbotron or looking down a little ways. But yeah, I mean, we just had a lot of fun. I mean, it was a great race. I mean, all the NASCAR races I think I've ever seen, that had to be the closest one I've ever seen. And to come out of turn 4 and everything. And what I really wanted, and Kathy and I talked about this some. I mean, Jim Trado was, working the infield and taking care of the pre and post race and all that kind of stuff. We definitely heard him post. We had to go find our car, but that's another story for another day. So we didn't hear that much at the end. But I want to commend you, and I want to commend NASCAR, if they are the ones that made the call, or if it's Homestead, for using the 2 local guys' voices and call of the race more than MRN. Because in the old days, and you know this, I mean, from my time at Milwaukee and Road America and stuff, if we were there for a NASCAR race, once the race started, I mean, we were done until there was a caution, because MRN took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they so Jim and I were hired. In that case, we're hired by the track. So they have a regional team that Jim and I also work at Daytona. They have a regional team that I guess likes Jim and I. And so that regional team hires us. So yeah, we get hired by the track, and then as far as what goes out over the PA, we do at the track. We do use some MRN feed, but there's obviously time to fill. There's things that MRN, when MRM's down or whatever that we fill. So it's a lot of fun. So Sunday, Jim was downstairs. He was doing the pre-race and post-race, and I was up in the booth. And on Saturday for the truck and the Xfinity doubleheader, we flip-flop roles. I was downstairs for the pre and post, and he was upstairs in the booth. So it gives us a nice little change of pace. And Saturday was a long day, but it was a lot of fun. I get to do Victory Lane and pre-race for the trucks and for the Xfinity Series. That was a lot of fun. So it's it's work, but it's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool.
Well, and I mean, the one thing I did forget, one of the few things I forgot to bring, was my scanner. And of course, Racing Electronics, when we went over to their trailer, even when we first got there, I mean, the lady was very, very nice. And she said that if I had brought my Bearcat, they would have been able to give me a frequency sheet and the whole 9 yards. But I said, you don't have any more today, do you? And she's like, no. And she goes, we're sold out for the weekend. And, and that was the only drawback. I mean, especially if there was cars on both sides of the track. And even if the leaders were on, the backstretch, we couldn't hear what you were saying much.
Yeah. Those cars are loud.
Well, especially when we're seated in the 10th row. So we were pretty close to them. But next time I will remember my scanner. And I've actually had that scanner for many, many years. Goes back to my Road America days. And actually, don't tell them, but Racing Electronics gave me that scanner to use the one weekend at Road America. And when I went to take it back to the trailer at the end of the weekend, the guy was gone.
Oops. Well,
the trailer was gone, and I've had the scanner ever since.
I won't tell.
So, when you're up there, I mean, I know at Road America, even at Milwaukee now, I think somewhat, there's so much the announcers are calling off the television monitors. Do you personally look at monitors that much, or do you just find something out there on the track and then just, because of, I mean, I know that you learned how to announce at short tracks like Hale's Corners, and we didn't have no monitors.
Yeah, it depends what the job function is. Like at Homestead, I'm just finding some action, something to talk about, something significant, something relevant, something to keep an eye on for the future. To kind of keep the fans informed. So, so I'm not using a monitor at Homestead. Other places, yeah, you're using the monitor. I also do some streaming for tracktv.com where we're doing the Midwest Tour late models, and for that I'm almost exclusively using the monitor because I'm talking to the fans at home who are watching it on the stream, and they want to see, they want that me talking, or Jim or whoever talking about what's on the screen.
Right.
So for that, I'm using exclusively the monitor. But at Homestead, no, we didn't even. The monitor was way up there, and I didn't even look at it. We're just good old fashioned short track PA announcing. Finding a battle, finding something unique, finding something interesting to talk about.
And I must admit, I thought I heard you say his name once, but who was your partner up there in the booth on Sunday?
So there's a young man by the name of Tim Catalfamo, and Tim's actually next year going to be doing a different. He's going to take a different role, but for the last couple of years, he has worked in the PA booth at a lot of the different stops. So there's some consistency there, a consistent voice, and somebody who knows the drill, so to speak. But yeah, that's who he is. He's been doing it a few years. Great young man, and you're going to hear a lot more from him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I mean, like I said, I mean, we just so enjoyed hearing you guys, and we no sooner sat down and Jim came on the mic for something out in the infield, and I go to Kathy, I go, "There's Jim."
Yeah.
And then about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes later, there was you. It's like, there's Dean.
Gates open. You got to be talking.
That's right. So now this last weekend, and I don't want to overlook this, but you were up at the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame induction. I was actually refereeing a high school football playoff game down at Gately Stadium on the far south side of Chicago. So I could not make it up this year. But I'll tell you, it's a fantastic facility that they have there. Yeah. It's a fantastic museum. People need to go if they've never been. Get up there, see everything that's there. But give the folks a little bit of a rundown on what happened Saturday night, who got inducted.
Well, to expand, and I'll get to your question, but to expand on what you said, not only is it the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame, but it's housed inside of a museum, an auto museum. So it's kind of like two for the price of one. You get to go to the auto museum and you get to go to the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. It's a cool building. It's an old car manufacturing building. I think, was it Kistler's? Kistler's cars? Yeah.
I believe you're right. Yep.
In Hartford, right off of Highway 60. And then they have an auditorium that is really, which is where the ceremony was on Saturday night. It's called the Shower Center, and they have just some really cool acts come in there, whether it be comedians or bands or whatever. And it's just a really neat old building, and it's great what they've done. So the Hall of Fame, I think it was their 18th consecutive year where they had a class that went in. And this year, no disrespect to previous years, but I think this year was one of the heaviest star-studded lists of inductees. It was Jimmy Fennig, who of course started in southeastern Wisconsin, crewing for Al Schill and working on Jerry Gunderman's ASA car when they won a championship. And then of course he went down to NASCAR and won a NASCAR championship. You know, he was crew chief for Matt Kenseth when Kenseth won the Daytona 500. So Jimmy Fennig got in, Matt Kenseth got in. He was supposed to get in last year, but he was running the New York City Marathon same weekend. So he postponed his induction to this year. Scott Hansen got in. Hansen, of course, just a great super late model and ASA late model competitor back in the day. Nathan Hosley got in. He was the youngest inductee that got in. I think he's 46 years old, but he's retired and a champion from the super late model ranks around Madison and Jefferson and Columbus in that area. And then the late Pat Shower got in, who was, we obviously, if you know the story of Pat Shower, he was an up and coming super late model racer who we lost in a racing accident. And since his passing, the ASA Tour's Rookie of the Year award has been named in his honor. So Pat got in posthumously and was represented there by his wife and his three boys. So it was really a cool class. And so I got to MC it along with Eric Miller, and it was a lot of fun. Eric had filled in for me the last 2 years because I was out of town in New York, and so it was fun to do it together with Eric. And I know when I was in New York, I missed your induction, so sorry about that. But yeah,
well, you were actually doing your version of the marathon, correct?
Yeah, I was. I participated in hand cycle racing, and I was the last 2 years. So it would have been 21 and 22. I did the New York City Marathon. So no, 22 and 23. Yeah. I did the New York City Marathon, and it always seemed to fall on the same weekend as a Hall of Fame induction ceremony. So it's a great ceremony. It's so much fun, and it's an honor for those inductees, as you can speak to. It's an honor for those inductees, and it's just a really, really cool deal. They have a rotating display, so they're gonna have some new cars in the Hall of Fame coming up here. So everybody is represented, from the old modifieds from the 50s and 60s, sportsmen's, all the way up to modern day, late models. So it's really, and sprint cars. It's really a pretty cool deal, and it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, and now this year too, Faye Hendricks received a very special award.
Jeez.
Oh, goodness gracious, Dean! You would not be getting a Christmas card this year.
Gosh, Mike, thanks for keeping me out of trouble there. Yes, they got a dedication to motorsports award, and Faye was, when I was a kid. Faye had 5 kids, all kind of around my age, and we hung out at the racetrack when I was a kid. She was my racetrack mom, and she still is today, my racetrack mom. But she was given the Dedication to Motorsports Award. So she was a columnist, a writer, and just really a goodwill ambassador for short track racing.
Yep. And she was actually one of the many photographers that was at mine and my wife Kathy's wedding at Lake Geneva Raceway the last weekend the track was open. She's one. It's funny because every now and then I'll go to a race or I'll be somewhere and I'll be talking to somebody and my wedding at our wedding at the racetrack will come up, and I've had so many drivers and crew members say, "I was at your wedding." I was there.
Uh-huh. Did they get you a gift?
Well, that's a few of them. I'm still waiting for my gift. What's up here? So, we don't have a lot of time left, but before I let you go, I know you used to be on the mic at Phoenix. Are you at Phoenix this year?
Nope. I'm not on the mic there this year. So my racing backpack is retired for the year. I got to take it downstairs and kind of tuck it away for the year. I got two backpacks. I got a work backpack and I got a racing backpack, and they're each full with everything that I need for either going to work or going to the racetrack. And the race backpack now is going to be tucked away for the winter. And
where will you be on the mic again that we might hear you?
That's a really good question, Mike. I'm not quite sure. I know we'll be at Slinger again next year. I'm hoping that we do the live stream for tracktv.com next year. Hopefully Daytona again, hopefully Homestead again, Phoenix again. I don't know. It's too early to tell, but it's good to have the season behind me, but I know in a couple of weeks I'll be bored and I'll be ready to go racing again.
Especially if the Packers keep playing like they did yesterday.
Good grief. And then my Badgers ain't doing much better. Holy grief.
Yeah. Well, Dean, you're a good friend. I've always enjoyed announcing with you, and we're hopefully sometime we're going to get back on the mic at a short track around here somewhere, or who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and go up there. I've asked Eric. I said, I announced with your father at Road America. I'd like to be able to announce with you at Road America. So he's working on that. He's talking to Mike Kircher and seeing if he can't get me on for at least for a part of a race, because as you know, Road America, you're on the mic a long time.
All day. Yeah. All day. Yep. So, Mike, thanks for having me on. Good to see you again, and you take care. Have a good holiday season if I don't talk to you beforehand.
Same to you, Dean, and your family. God bless.
Thanks, Dean.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Dean Strom joining us, and now we're going to see if we can't get a phone call. Okay, we've got I'm going to get Nathan to go ahead and call me before we get on with John. Where are we here? We're going to get Nathan Crane on. Nathan was on with us last week. He had his 5th annual Midwest Racers event last weekend, and we've got him on the phone again with us, and we're not going to keep him too long because he's just gotten off the clock and he needs to get back to work to pay the bills. Nathan, welcome to the program once again. And from everything I saw on Facebook, you had once again an extremely successful event.
Yes, so it was fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. Just curious, you got a sneak peek of it. I know you were at the Hall of Fame, so I didn't know how much you were able to watch.
Actually, I wasn't at the Hall of Fame this year. I was actually refereeing a football game on the south side of Chicago. But I did get to see a little bit of it, and what Lauren Kelly posted as well. So if you just want to give us a quick rundown, I know you got to get back to work, and maybe we can get you on. We're going to go monthly now, the first Monday of each month, and maybe we'll get you on in December, and you can go over the complete results a little bit more. But why don't you give us the highlights?
Oh, you're good. Well, I mean, I'm not in too much of a rush, but I mean, we can go over the whole thing. But if you got somebody on in another segment, obviously I don't want to hog their time.
Yeah, well, for some reason, I'm not getting you as loud as I got you last week, and I don't know why.
Is that a little better?
Oh, there we go. I think I figured it out.
Cool. Sounds good.
So, go ahead and highlight your winners, and if you had any really surprising some winners that you might have had.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Not surprising at all. Jason Anderson got Fast Time Award. This is now his third event, and he has gotten Fast Time every single time. So we had a bounty out for him, $100 to a single person, or $100 divided by however many people all qualify him. But he collected Fast Time again, so that bounty wasn't paid. Tough Luck Award went to Beth. It was her first time at this event, and she got pretty roughed up. And so she got her head rang pretty good. So she's doing good now, though, so that's always a plus. Hard Charger went to Tyler Tigendorf. He had +7. He got 4 in the B and 3 in the A. G Main went to MLS Auto Clinic winner Todd Zangler. The F Main went to Sundance Saloon winner Ryan Sosh. E Main winner went to 10V Graphics winner David Torres. D Main winner Super Shocks Leighton Schaefer. C Main Johnny Z's Poorhouse winner went to Tyler Cuxhouse. B Main Jack's Helmet Designs went to Jackson Knock. In the A Main Top 15, and I'm going to butcher some of these names, so I apologize. I'm not as good as Lauren Kelly. I'm not a public speaker, but Alex Lapazinski in 15th, Bentley Larson in 14th, Austin Orth in 13th, Tyler Tigendorf in 12th, Jackson Knock in 11th, Charlie Spoonmore, top 10. The Bench Racing Podcast award was given to Seth Johnson in 9th, 8th, Tyler Allen, 7th, Will Garrett, 6th, Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, 5th, Crane Racing went to Logan Julian, 4th, Super Shocks went to Nathan Crane, 3rd, Johnny Z's Poorhouse went to Brady. This is another one I'm going to screw up, and I feel terrible because I asked him at the event how he pronounced it, and I already forgot. But Brady Porci, 2nd, Jack's Helmet Designs went to TJ Zimmerman, and your 5th annual Midwest Racer A-Main event winner went to Jason Anderson. Very close race between Jason and TJ Zimmerman. Top 5 Powder Puff. 5th was Rouge Helmets, which goes to Jennifer Rooney. 4th, Miller Motors went to Rebecca Williams. 3rd, MLS Auto Clinic went to Amber Vandeveer, who was just whooping some serious butt all freaking night. 2nd, Sundance Saloon Award went to McKenna Miller. And the 5th annual Midwest Racers Powder Puff is now a 2-time Powder Puff champion, Natalie Williams.
Okay, and I understand you did sell out. How many racers did you end up with?
84 total.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. And have you already secured the date for next year, or is everybody kind of going to have to wait and see what you decide?
Nothing 100%, but good percentages is going to be Saturday, March 8th.
Oh, we're going to move it up.
Yes.
Okay.
But again, it's tentative. It's not 100%. It's a good percentage, but it's not 100%. But once it's for sure, I will absolutely post on Facebook and start tagging everybody, because this time we're going to have a limit, and it's going to be first come first serve type deal. So we're going to run the program a little different this year. We're going to have some directors, and we're going to be running receivers, and it's just good. Every year we just get a little bit bigger and better each time. That's what we're going to plan to do. Also, potentially dropping, we're going to have a 50-plus race.
Oh.
We have a Powder Puff race, and there's a lot of seasoned veterans that run these events, and they are very fast. But I would love to see all of them go at it at once when they're all in the same group. So
there you go. That sounds like some fun. So, well, we're actually, if you missed it already or didn't see the posting earlier, we're going to be on the first Monday of each month through March. So we can, as soon as you got things solidified, we'll be giving you a plug here the first Monday of each March, and
that would be huge.
And we'll even be on the Monday just before the race. So
yeah, that'd be great.
So that will work out well, and there won't be any football games that day, and then the induction ceremony is traditionally at the Hall of Fame the first Saturday in November. So we should be avoiding that too.
There you go. Yes.
No. All right. Well, again, I'm glad that things worked out well for you, and wish you the best during the off season now. And what are your plans aside from the Racers event in your driving, and what you're going to drive in 2025?
That is all up in the air right now. Nothing set in stone. Me and my wife were expecting a beautiful baby girl. So then we'll have 2 under 2, which will be very chaotic. So we're gonna kind of just take it day by day and see what happens. But the minute things start getting finalized, we'll absolutely post and share it to the world, and we'll go from there. But we're just taking it day by day right now.
All right. Well, that sounds great. And congratulations to you on a great event. And I'll be looking forward. I should be able to come and join you in March. So I'll be looking forward to that. And I'll be looking forward to maybe having 2 babies on my knees in March.
There you go. Yeah. Before I head out, though, I want to give a last shout out to all the sponsors of the 5th Annual Midwest Racers. Because without them, I don't have enough money in my pockets to put this out. So K1 Speed Milwaukee, Jack's Helmet Designs, Johnny Z's Poorhouse Super Shocks, 10B Graphics, MLS Auto Clinic, Bodycraft Inc., Sundance Saloon, Miller Motors, Rouge Helmet, Crane Racing LLC, the Bench Racing Podcast. Special thanks to Chris Larson and Hobbytown USA. They donated, these next few people that I'm announcing, they donated some stuff to the event, which was really sweet and really awesome. Chris Larson and Hobbytown USA, they donated an RC car. Johnson Motorsports gave up some extra money for the raffles. Amy Schultz, she did the same thing as well. She gave $100 to the last place person in the A main. Jessica Sivia donated some Sensi certificates. I still have to give to the ladies, which I will be actually doing that very soon. Lauren Kelly, he was giving some promotions promotional posts through Box 3 Media. Brian Julian with Gibsonville Cheese. They gave a bunch of cheese curds at the event, which was awesome because everyone there is Wisconsinite, so how do you not like cheese curds, right?
There you go.
Special thanks to Quinn and the entire Badger Racing TV and Box 3 Media crew. They absolutely knocked it out of the park with Lauren Kelly and Tyler Tichendorf announcing, Mike Burba for the awesome award signs that he made for us, Hannah Weimer for taking all those awesome shots that we should be getting pretty soon. And once I get those, her and I will upload them and share them so that way everybody who wasn't at the event can, once those awesome shots come through, you're going to feel like you were at the events. And again, if you missed it live, you can watch it on replay at Box 3 Media or at Badger Racing TV. But all in all, fantastic. I can't wait for the 6th annual in March.
All right, sounds super. Well, again, congratulations to you and your wife on the other child that is coming, the little girl. And we'll look forward to seeing you in March. And if we don't catch you at one of the banquets in the area, again, thanks a lot. Take care. God bless, and happy holidays too.
You too, Mike. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and that was Nathan Crane joining us. And now we've got our last guest of the evening going to join us is going to be John from Great Lakes Dragaway, John Reidenbach. And John, welcome to the program once again. And I know we communicated a little bit during the day today. And Great Lakes Dragaway is, well, they're not closing the doors yet, not unless Mother Nature says it's time to close the doors. But normally on Wednesdays, it's ladies' night. I I don't know how well the weather looks for this Wednesday, if you'd be able to race this Wednesday or even open up. But I know when we talked earlier, you said plans were still to race on the weekend, if at all possible, and maybe one day or so during the week. So go ahead and update everybody for us.
Yeah, well, yeah, after the start of November here, we go to weekend operations, Saturday, Sunday. Unless, like Randy says, if there's a really good day, if it gets in the 70s or something, it's a Friday and it's beautiful out, they may open up, just because the weather would be good, conducive. Ladies' night racing is over with during the week. For the season, the ladies ended up winning 14-12. So the last 2 weeks they won. I was trying to get Kristen on here. She's been kicking butt there on the ladies' night and Battle of the Sexes. So they came out ahead again, 14-12. So that's pretty good for the season.
Well, we'll see if we can't get her on. Again, we're going to go to weekly now, or not weekly, monthly. Yeah. The first Monday of each month, 6 to 7 o'clock. It'll replay on Wednesday. And then it's always available, in the archives. Folks can go back and look at all 31. Can you believe, John, we've done 31 shows this year?
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll be looking forward to that coming up. And I know we've talked a little bit about some of the things that are planned for Great Lakes Dragaway for 2025. Anything else new that, Randy is ready to let the cat out of the bag about, or are we going to have to wait a little bit still?
Well, I just can mention a little bit for Labor Day when that comes up for the Time Machine Nationals. We're going to have another group racing there that's going to have some nitromethane involved with it. So I'll just leave it at that. But we'll have more updates on that as the schedule gets finalized. But definitely signed to get another group in there. And Randy is trying to do we're trying to do some different things at the track to get some different groups in there and different events like we were doing with the Funny Car Chaos Finals and the Wisconsin Outlaw Street is that's a really neat group that's taking off. And some more things will be changed with that or modified for next year, maybe bringing more groups or some different groups with that race and some other things that he's got going to try to mix it up a little bit.
Now, one of the last times that Kathy and I came out, we saw the snowmobiles drag racing. Are there any more of an update there? I know we talked about when we saw them, they were running on clay, but the plan is to let the grass grow through that clay. Is that still the plan?
No, yeah. I asked them about that. I inquired about that, and they're going to leave it clay. They're going to, in fact, they got it all covered up. It's amazing. They must have tarps and everything and a bunch of cement blocks, and they're going to leave it clay. I think they were really happy with the way that it turned out because they set some world records there for their event. So I think they're going to leave it that way and race like that. And hopefully that just will get bigger and better also. The first event worked out really, really well. So we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, that'll be great. And I know there's another group that is wanting to talk to Randy about possibly coming in. And I don't want to say who they are or the type of racing they do, but it'll be something that I don't think has ever been at Great Lakes Dragaway. So we'll just keep it at that. One of those little teasers. People are going to have to stay tuned and watch GreatLakesDragaway.com because the website still gets updated, right?
Yep. And same like with the Facebook page too. There's pretty rapid updates on the Facebook page if something's going to go on there. That's always worked out really, real well, and it's getting a little bit better since they had Nathan the intern in there, and now we've got somebody else doing it, so it's working out really well.
Well, and also I think Randy is still answering the phone because I called the track the other day and he answered the phone.
Yeah. Every time I go in there and talk to him, he's got that phone in his hand and it's ringing all the time. I mean, it's kind of crazy how many phone calls that they get at that place, inquiring about fuel or whatever. They stock a lot of fuel there, a lot of different grades of fuel and variety of fuel. So a lot of people come in here and get fuel for whatever they need it for.
Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, what about John's plans for the winter now? Is your car all tucked away? I know last week when we talked, you were starting to work on it a little bit. Have you finished that, or you still got a few things to do?
Well, I put my backup engine in and I took it out there and I did run quickest DT that I've ever ran with the car with the backup engine in it. So I ran an 853 at 156 miles an hour, which was pretty good because it's pretty warm that day when I went out on that Tuesday. It was 75 degrees. So that's pretty good for that car in that air. So my other engine is getting taken apart here and it's going to get freshened up and probably bump the compression up a little bit in it. Maybe a little bit bigger cam because how the backup engine was working, it worked out real well. So I might try to kind of mimic that one. And my car is certified for 850. So 850 is as quick as I can go with the way the chassis cert is in, but the cert is at, and it'll be good if I can just keep it in the 850, 860 range. I'll be good with that.
There you go. So, well, I know that you're more into straight racing, obviously, but an announcement that just came about a couple of days ago, and we were trying to get somebody on, and maybe one of our future shows we will. LaSalle Speedway down there in LaSalle, Illinois, which had closed a few years ago, was run by the Izzo family, is reopening in 2025. And the Facebook announcement said that they're going to run maybe 2 events each month this year or in 2025. And then they're going to try to open up more on a regular basis for 2026 and beyond. So that's kind of good news because, from time to time we hear about tracks closing.
Right.
We don't hear about too many reopening. I mean, this is one, you go to their Facebook page and you'll see the pictures. One of the guys on Facebook even jokingly said that they were going to have lawnmower races this weekend because they needed to mow the grass on the track because it all had all grown up through the dirt. That again, that is good news. That's coming about, and from what I understand too, in oval track racing and the sprint car world, the No Limits sprint car group, or High Limits rather, sprint car group that Kyle Larson's involved with is going to run at 141 Speedway in Francis Creek on Tuesday, June the 3rd. And then I understand June 4th, that same group is going up to Red Cedar Speedway. Do you know where Red Cedar's at?
No, I do not. I've never heard of it.
Menominee, Wisconsin. And I guess I'm going to have to Google it and find it or something. 141 I've been to, but Red Cedar, I haven't been there. So, and then I understand too, later on this week, there is expected to be an announcement by the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars as to some events that they're going to have in Wisconsin in 2025. And of course, their championship is going to be decided this weekend. Is their finals on Friday and Saturday, I do believe it is. So NASCAR has their finals this weekend, while the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars has theirs. Was it drag racing? Did they have theirs last weekend, or are theirs coming up?
Yeah, I think the NHRA still at Pomona is the last one there, and I don't know what the date is on that. I know they had a big race out in Maryland where they always do their World Cup, imports versus domestics. That was going on this week, and that was pretty exciting. That was a neat race to watch. But NHRA, I think I know Pomona's the last one. Yeah.
Have you heard any talk about Joliet and the drag racetrack down there? I mean, I had never even seen it until I ended up announcing a few weeks ago for the Wisconsin Wingless down there at the dirt track, which is literally right next to the big, the drag
sure.
track. I was very impressed by. I mean, it looks like a football stadium.
Oh yeah, it's a great facility. I know they're going to have one of their NHRA events. They usually do at the end of May. That's usually the time where it's on the schedule that they do. And it's kind of a shame because they open it up for that and maybe one race, and then it's pretty much shut down all year. And it's such a nice facility, such a nice track.
Yeah, well, Great Lakes Dragway is definitely going to be back in 2025, and looking forward to seeing some more racing up there this year. I'm going to try to be up there a little bit more often, and there's some other things that we're going to be announcing very soon. Hartnell Chevrolet is going to get involved, as well as Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which is a great organization that works to get beds and put together and provided for less advantaged folks in Racine County, Kenosha County, Walworth County, even down into Lake County a little bit. And I had a very good meeting with them this last week, and we'll have more things to announce on that probably on our December show. And we're going to actually do some things between Wilmot and Great Lakes Dragaway. I've said all summer that there's no reason we can't work together and do things together, and especially when it's going to benefit kids.
Yeah,
I definitely think we can work together and have some fun at the same time. So
that'd be great. Yeah.
All right. Well, John, I appreciate it very much. Of course, we want to remind everybody, if you don't vote tomorrow, I don't want to hear you. You got no reason to say anything.
You bet.
Go out and vote. Hey, check GreatLakesDragaway.com. Find out if they're going to be able to race or not, depending upon Mother Nature. Again, we want to certainly thank B&L Office Furniture for all their help all season long. So until we see you next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night. God bless. Let's go racing, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.